Hello everyone, Pharmaville welcomes you all busy people to yet another learning video. In this video, we will review Glenmark Pharma warning letter observations. So as you might be aware of the fact that US FDA has issued warning letter to Glenmark Pharma in the month of November 2022. And I hope those who are working in the US FDA approved plants, they might be aware of this. So well friends, GOA facility of the Glenmark Pharma was inspected by US FDA in the month of May 2022 from 12th of May to 20th of May 2022. It was almost 7 days audit if you exclude Saturday and Sunday. So there were two auditors who conducted the audit and their names were Justin A. Boyd and Jose M. Cayula. So guys, these two auditors has given total 5 number of observations. So let us go through all the observations one by one to understand that what went wrong during the inspection so that Glenmark GOA facility got the warning letter. Observation number 1, and the title of the observation number 1 is Investigations of the unexplained discrepancies and failure of a batch or any of its components to meet any of its specification did not extend to other batches of the same drug product and other drug products that may have been associated with the specific failure or the discrepancy. So well friends, under this observation, auditors reviewed one investigation report which was logged for the leakage of the tube. Tube is nothing but the ointment tube. So this was a stability sample for the European market. Now auditors found that there was no proper root cause identified for the leaking of the tube, and the no impact assessment was done for the other products which were manufactured using the same machine. So now the investigation was closed, stating that there were no similar problems for the other markets. But guys, you won't believe, auditors identified approximately 15 market complaints with a similar leaking problem which were received from the US market. Well friends, in addition to this, auditors stated in the warning letter that you have not extended the investigations related to the rejected batches to other drug products. So guys, auditors reviewed the OOS investigations and they found that from 2018 to 2021, total 14 batches of the desmopressin acetate tablets were rejected due to OOS in the content uniformity test. So after these many failures, firm has implemented additional stratified sampling and they have executed the batches to simulate the root cause for the failure. And the root cause for the failure was concluded as a lack of the defined compression parameters. But firm has not extended the impact assessment to other drug products. Well friends, Glenmark Pharma has given their response to the FDA, but FDA was not satisfied with the response and they have issued this warning letter. So guys, long story short, FDA has raised a question on the investigation practices of the Glenmark Pharma. Observation number 2, and the title of the observation number 2 is There were no written procedures for the production and the process control designs to ensure that the drug products have the identity, strength, quality and the purity. So under this observation, auditors has mentioned 2 examples. So let us see first one. Well friends, auditors reviewed the in-process validation report and they found that inter-batch and the intra-batch variabilities were not evaluated. One validation batch was executed to qualify new excipient supplier. So during the validation batch execution, drug product samples were collected at the predefined stages of the filling. Now auditors reviewed the validation report and they found that there was a huge variation for the minimum viscosity and the maximum viscosity values. So what is the cause of this variability of the viscosity values during the batch execution? This was not evaluated. So because of this reason, auditors stated that the inter-batch and the intra-batch variabilities were not evaluated. In addition to this, auditors also found that there were 3 batches rejected in 2020 and 2 batches rejected in the 2021 due to viscosity test failure. So this was the first example mentioned under the observation number 2. Now let us understand second example mentioned under observation number 2. So the process validation studies for the US marketed tablet products did not ensure the availability of the data to support the ranges for compression machine settings. For example, auditors reviewed the batch records and they found that product specific limits were not established for the all products. Only operational capabilities of the machines were mentioned, but not the ranges that would ensure the proper machine settings to produce tablets meeting all the specifications. In addition to this, auditors found that there were few batches which were rejected due to lack of these parameters as a root cause. Auditors has also stated that the validation reports used to support the establishment of a compression machine compaction force ranges do not include the raw data to support the actual compression force during the batch manufacturing. Observation number 3, and the title of the observation number 3 is Laboratory controls do not include the establishment of scientifically sound and appropriate test procedures designed to assure that the drug products conforms to the appropriate standards of identity, strength, quality, and purity. So this observation is related to the deficiencies in the chromatographic data integration practices. So under this observation, auditors stated that procedures to ensure the accurate and consistent integration of the chromatographic data was not established. Well friends, auditors reviewed the integration practices SOP and they found many gaps. So as per SOP CMQC 013, it is required to use Apex track algorithm for the integration of the chromatographic data. In SOP, list of the timed integration events was given which can be used or which can be entered manually to modify the processing method. But SOP did not provide the detail that when these timed events should be used or how these timed events should be used or how these timed events should be reviewed. As per SOP CMQC 013, it is required to calculate the minimum area for the all related substances test. But the analysts were not recording this calculation and it was not reviewed to ensure that the processing methods has integrated all the required peaks or not. Along with this, auditors also found that the chromatography procedure do not require additional evaluation of the methods when there is an interference with the peak of interest. For example, during the testing of a drug product for the related substances test, a placebo peak was not resolved for the known impurity and same was not evaluated or the investigated. Observation number 4, and the title of the observation number 4 is Batch production records do not include the complete information related to the production and the control of the each batch. So under this observation, auditors observed that as per procedure PD 672 requires compression machine operators to calculate the tablet reject limits based on the batch specific data from the machine setup. However, operators were using the preset values without calculating the batch specific limits. If changes were made to the reject limits, then these calculations were neither documented in the batch record nor reviewed to determine whether parameters were set correctly to reject tablets that may not meet the specification. Observation number 5, and the title of the observation number 5 is Equipments used in the manufacturing, processing, packing or holding of the drug products were not of appropriate design to facilitate the operations for its intended use and cleaning and maintenance. So well friends, this observation is related to the purified water system where auditors found dead legs. So guys, these were the 5 observations which were issued by the US FDA to Glenmark GOA facility. So whatever the example mentioned in the warning letter, we have understood few of them. If you still want more detail about these observations, then you can check the link given in the description or you can visit the US FDA website and from there you can download the form 483. So this is it for today. Hope you have learned something new today. Bye bye and happy learning.